are here today at Heights International Talk HIT. HIT is your weekly dosage of business talk, here to inspire, challenge, innovate, and provoke. My name is Gustavo Diaz, your host, here today with our special guest, Jason Smith. Jason Smith, thank you so much for being here, starting our segment today, Succeeding in Sales. Jason, say hello, brother.
Hello, brother. Thank you very much, Gustavo. It's a pleasure to finally be here and to see your operation. My God, I feel like I'm at the Howard Stern show here. This is fantastic. And I thought you were a mild-mannered realtor. Man, this is crazy. Awesome stuff.
No, man, I'm so thankful for you to be here. If you don't know Jason, Jason is a killer in the real estate business. Man, I am. This is the people that us common folks here, common realtors here, love to shadow implement their ideas, just pick on their brain and just, see whatever we can. So today's going to be an amazing hit. We are just going to dive in with this superstar. I mean, if you don't know Jason Smith, you got to get to know him. He's a killer real estate agent. Jason, how long have you been in business? Tell us a little bit about you, how they can find you in the real estate realm. Just give us your promo.
All right. Well, you did that intro just like we rehearsed it. I'll give you that check later for $30. Just like you rehearsed it. Thank you. Thank you for that. Awesome. No, just kidding. Been a real estate agent for 19 years. We started out with Coldwell Banker for about 8 years. Then I had my own operation called Showcase Miami Realty in Coconut Grove next to Coco Walk from 2012 to 2017. Did the broker owner thing with my own business, starting my own operation. Okay. We got up to 50 agents at that point in 2017. And at that point in time, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to roll into a bigger, to Keller Williams, back to Keller Williams, where I had been for 4 years. Wow. Because you had this incredible platform and marketing reach. Yeah. And I see myself more as a salesperson than an administrator. Yeah. And I learned a lot in that process, being my own broker, that my 20% activities that give me the most results based on who I am is going out there and selling.
It's funny that you said you consider yourself a salesperson, man. I feel like to be at your level, man, you're such a relational guy. I mean, every time I'm near you, I want to talk to you. I want to just pick your brain. I just feel like you're the most easy kind of going guy, and I just feel like I can learn so much from you. So it's interesting that you have that mindset, man. I love it. I love it. So how long have you been in business? In total,
I guess the definition. Okay, so I've been in business. I've had 30 jobs in my career. All right. I discovered real estate when I was 35 after like 30 jobs. Okay. I was McDonald's, at 16 I was working at McDonald's flipping the burgers. I did blacktop for driveways for a while. Okay. I had a car wash business, windsurfing instructor. Awesome. Worked the graveyard shift at Ryder headquarters. I was a standby UPS driver for one summer. I worked at Yellow Freight loading trucks. Let's keep going here. What else? I was a bus boy. I was a waiter. Server lasted about a day until I had a 6-top table come and I got overwhelmed. Up until then, for that day, my first day solo at this diner in California, Southern California, I was all of a sudden a 6-top came in. Most servers would be very happy to see this business coming in, but I got overwhelmed, so I said, no, not for me. No more business. I was a Domino's pizza delivery driver on 2 occasions. I sold toner cartridges, recycled laser printer cartridges. Back in the early 90s, I worked at a front desk of a hotel, the Hyatt Grand Champions in California. Front desk for 2 years. Worked at Zephyr Hills Spring Water, became the salesman of the year for state of Florida for the 5-gallon spring water that they do, home and office delivery. That was a big deal for me. Then I discovered real estate around 35, Coldwell Banker, and the rest is history.
Man, how do you go from, bus boy, surfer?
Windsurfing instructor, Rickenbacker Causeway here in Key Biscayne.
Wow. How do you go from that to being a rock star, superstar real estate agent in South Florida?
Thanks. Well, I feel like I've got a heck of a long way to go, but I mean, just failing forward. I had to go through so many of those jobs. Oh, bank teller, valet parking. Those are two I didn't mention, and health club sales.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Sorry, to answer your question, basically, along the way, for me, this might be better for some of our younger listeners out there, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to excel at? I had to fail forward literally through those 30 jobs to see what I was good at and what I wasn't good at. And there's often a lot of stuff that I just didn't enjoy or wasn't suited to it, which kind of ultimately led me to real estate, which was unlimited income. And you don't have a boss. You have your customers are your boss. So there's no politics involved in this situation if you're your own business owner, because there's nobody one individual who determines your career. That's the thing I love about being a business owner.
So you are your own boss? Would you consider that?
Yes, as you are, right? Because the only person that determines your outcome is how many clients you have, and you can determine which clients you want to work with and who you can provide value to. But you're not going to get you might get fired by a client if you don't do well, but you're not going to get fired by your manager, for instance, if you are a real estate agent or a business owner. You
know what's funny, though? I love that you mentioned that in my real estate team, I'm constantly asking my agents, hey, how did you do today? And then they'll start to say, well, I did this and I did this and I did this. And then I ask them this question. Would you fire yourself today? Would you give yourself a promotion, or would you put yourself in probation?
Wow.
Right?
Good.
So that's that way. Even though they're in my real estate team and they're a part of my team and everything, I'm constantly challenging them to ask those questions, because in return, they are their business. They themselves are their own business owners. Yeah, we're just partnering together, but it's so funny that you think that as well, in the sense of you are running your own business, and yet you still have to maintain that level of self-accountability. Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of people who's going to tell you what to do, when to do it, and when to get to the office. But let me ask you this, Jason. Will your production represent that?
If what?
If let's say you're slacking off in your own business, will your production be able to see the fruits of that labor?
You won't know until 90 days later at the end of the sales cycle, the sales pipeline, because whatever we do today manifests itself in results 90 days down the road.
Absolutely.
In sales.
Yeah.
In most sales that I've been in, whether it's toner cartridges, whether it's real estate sales, whether it's Zephyr Hills water, that stuff happens in 90 days. So you don't know now. You might have a ton of closings coming in. You're sitting there relaxing, going out to dinner, enjoying it. But 90 days from now, you'll see the results.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of not working.
Or you have a really, really good month and all your properties are closing, and then you're thinking, man, I'm going to take a 2-week vacation.
I earned it.
And you have nothing in the pipeline.
I deserve that vacation. I earned it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. So this is going to be awesome. So before we even get into the hits, we have 4 amazing hits for you listeners. Again, if you haven't yet already, take the time out, pause this episode, like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out Jason Smith website,
showcasemiami.com. That's showcasemiami.com, folks. And you can follow us on Instagram at showcasemiami, at Showcase Miami, one word, on Instagram.
Awesome. So if they want to connect with you about more real estate, how do they connect with you?
Cell phone. Okay, there's several ways. You can call us on the 800 number, which is 888-21-JASON. That's 888-21-JASON. Or you can call the cell phone 786-326-8115.
Awesome.
786-326-8115.
Awesome. Guys, we have a superstar in the house today. He's just amazing at what he does. He has a very successful team in real estate. So kudos to you. So I got to ask
you.
I got to ask this one question. I have to ask this one question before we start our segment. Besides real estate, what was your favorite job with all that very, very long resume?
Good Humor Ice Cream Man.
Oh, really?
That and the windsurfing instructor. This was back a while ago. They needed somebody to drive around the country to get an 18-wheeler license, a CDL license, and drive 42 cities in 90 days with a big rig. Okay, with a big rig filled with ice cream, a Good Humor ice cream, which was toasted almond, Candy Crunch, chocolate eclair, and strawberry shortcake.
Oh my gosh!
Our job was to give it out for free. I'd wear this white uniform with a white hat, little bow tie, a money changer, just like the good humor men of old, going through Brooklyn, New York, Chicago, all the major markets. My job was to let people know that the same ice cream I was giving out for free in front of Piggly Wiggly and Kroger and Winn-Dixie and Publix was now in the grocer's freezer.
Wow.
They paid us to do that. It was 42 cities in 90 days.
You never seem
the
too
entire
amazing.
country.
You never seem too amazing.
That was amazing. I was 22 years old.
I would not last 3 days in that job. I would get fired for theft. I would eat every single.
We were allowed
ice
to eat
cream.
as much as we want. I had 4 ice cream bars a day. I was 21 years old. 4 ice cream bars a day for 90 days. Started in St. Louis, went to New York, down the East Coast.
I would have diabetes in 3 days then.
Yeah, it wasn't the healthiest.
Oh my gosh. All right. Love it. All right. So we are in for an amazing podcast. All right. It's the title is Succeeding in Sales. And how do we succeed in sales? Well, we're going to find out today. All right, hit number one. We, Jason and I were talking about this topic, and we were just masterminding together in how to succeed in sales. And hit one is what we concluded to was trust the process. Trust the process. So let's talk about it. What does that mean to you, Jason?
Well,
you're the mastermind behind all these hits. So.
All right, Gus. Well, you know it. We're here in the office, and we're saying prospect. We got a prospect, and then we do it, and then all of a sudden we're getting rejected, and people are hanging up on us, and it's not going the way we want. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, they say, okay, there's got to be a better way than this. Well, okay, maybe I can do some Facebook or some social media, pay for some Zillow ads, or whatever it might be in any industry. If you're a plumber, if you're a certified financial planner, there's maybe some more networking events. Mm-hmm. But getting rejected on the phone, not fun, right?
Not fun at all. Not fun at all.
But at the end of the day, if we keep doing it and don't worry about the outcome, just be detached from the outcome is another way of saying trust the process. Be detached. Just execute in the moment, whatever your script is, to talk to people, to invite them to. It's about the appointment. In our business, at least, it's about appointments at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's about any business.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're a plumber or if you're an attorney. If you don't have a process and if you don't have a system in place to set appointments, it doesn't matter.
I think that's really it. In our business or any other business, I believe I'm speaking for most people.
Absolutely.
Attorneys, plumbers, it's appointments. How many new customers can you get belly to belly with, as you said a little while back? Mm-hmm. So the question is, how do you get appointments?
How do you get appointments? How do you connect with those? And you mentioned, okay, we have to trust the process, right? Mm-hmm. And trusting the process, when I continually get rejected over the phone, maybe I'm doing some cold calling, or maybe I'm trying a system that I decided was going to be successful, right? Maybe I'm running some Facebook lead generation or something like that. And I come to that pivotal point where I keep getting rejected over and over and over again. Are you saying, do I have to stop there and pick something different, or continue and press on?
Get some feedback from someone who knows more than you as to what you're doing well and what you can improve. That's one thing. So a coach would help, or even maybe a colleague here in the office. Yeah. That's one thing you can do differently. We can do differently. And maybe take a break. But just talking to people. We're just people talking. When we pick up this phone, we're just people talking to people. Yeah. They're going to say what they're going to say.
Exactly.
It can't be about us chatting, talking as much. In my opinion, what I've learned in this process, the Socratic method, again, law. Yeah. Not that I have had any law experience whatsoever, but they do the Socratic method. We, as salespeople, do the Socratic method by asking questions.
Exactly.
They say selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions. That's what attorneys do, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that I keep hearing over and over in my brain here is, whenever I keep getting rejected, maybe I'm doing a cold call, maybe I'm calling some clients and they're not getting back to me. And this is what I got from trusting the process is I determined at one point in my business that was successful enough to create it a priority in my own business, that I said that I have to do that, right? Mm-hmm. So I have to trust the process that it's going to pay off. Maybe it might not pay off in that instant, but maybe it'll pay off, here in a few. What do you think about that?
In 90 days, it will pay off.
In 90 days,
pretty much. Depending on, like, if you're selling aircraft, that's not going to be a 90-day sales cycle. That's going to be, I'm sure, months or years for that to happen.
Yeah.
But most businesses, I would imagine that in 90 days, if you're always talking to people, you're going to get results within 90 days. So the question is, to your point, it's a victory to get out of bed at the right time.
Yeah.
Count the little victories. Even if you didn't get the big victory of the appointment, count the victory the night before. Okay, I got in bed by 10 p.m., I woke up by 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
I did my role play. If you're talking about, scripts and dialogues like we do in this business, which I'm sure any business should have them.
Yeah.
I got to work in the office on time. I started dialing at the right time. All of those are victories.
Yeah.
I had 20 people that I spoke with today. That's another victory. So these victories start piling on top of each other.
You know what's funny? I have never noticed a victory, a change in my physical body while I'm working out at the gym.
Great point.
I have never noticed. I have never been at the gym sweating super hard and noticed, man, it looks like I lost 20 pounds today.
Yeah.
But when I look at it, over a month, 2 months, 3 months, I say, oh, wow. I feel great. I feel a lot healthier. I feel like I can breathe, when I'm walking up the stairs. And then over time I see, oh, wow, after this, 4 months of intensive workout, I've lost 30 pounds. But wow. in the daily grind, you're not going to notice those changes. You're not going to magically go and say, oh, man, I lost 40 pounds today. But over the process, and we keep talking about trusting the process, over the process, you lost 40 pounds over the 90 days, over the 4 months, or whatever it is, and I think we don't give ourselves enough credit to say, hey, look, these small victories, just like you said, these small victories are part of the process, right?
Absolutely.
Are part of the process. So
habits, that's another word. I mean, there's a book right now that Claudia Restrepo, who's our operating principal at this office, really incredible producer, that we all learn from.
Yep.
She recommended this book that a lot of our agents in our industry are reading, which is called Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
That book really just spells it all out. This whole behavior thing, it's all about habits.
Exactly. And we're creatures of habits, right?
Yes, good and bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do we consciously go after the good habits and not get sidetracked by our bad habits?
Yeah.
There are scientific ways to approach that. Atomic Habits is a great read. And there's another one, The Power of Habit, I believe it's called.
The Power of Habit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, great. I'm thinking if you have any doubts about your process, maybe take a few days, maybe take some time to actually look at your process and see if it's being productive for you, right? And then if you truly, you and your coach and your accountability partner, whoever you have in your business that's mentoring you in your business, see if your process is being if it's worthy enough for you to continue. And if you guys determine it to continue, and then anytime you have those times where you're thinking, man, they're not answering my phone calls, they're not responding to my text messages, they're not looking at opening any of my emails, maybe it's not the process that's wrong. It's just not the right time. Maybe you just got to continue trusting it, that you're doing what you're supposed to do, but you just got to continue doing it. You got to press on.
Great point. I mean, there's one thing, if I may, basically look at your business from the past year. This is what Gary Keller says, for instance. Look at your business from the past year, the deals you did in whatever industry you're in, and see the source of each one of those deals, and determine, okay, I got most of my business from referrals. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you're gonna have 2 or 3. Focus on those top 2 or 3 forms, and figure out, put 4, 5, and 6, the other methods that you got business away, and focus on those top 3 more. Whether it's putting money towards it, whether it's like the database. For me last year, database was about 30% of our business.
Wow.
So we didn't really focus on it much. So focus more on database. Calling the database is an example of that.
Yeah.
Process.
So let's jump in right to hit number 2, because I think this is going to tie in beautifully here. So hit number 2. It says hit number 2 is trust the time block. Trust the time block. What does that mean? We talked about trusting the process, right? But what do we mean by when we say, hey, you have to trust your time block?
Okay. So basically, it's back to habit, the system of showing up at a certain time every day for that that whole 80-20 rule. So in any industry, generating leads is the 20% of the activities that will give you 80% of your results.
Okay.
So the question is, you got to time block that 20% if it's giving you 80% of your results.
Okay.
That lead generation. So the question is, do you come in, okay, one day I'll come in, I'll do my top 20% activities at 8 a.m. The next day I'll come in at 10 a.m. Or maybe I'll have a lunch appointment. I'll come in at 1 o'clock. You have to, all else aside, the 80% stuff that's not as important as your 20% main drivers, the fuel to your business, which calling your database, for instance.
Okay.
If you're saying, I'm going to call my database from 8 to 11 every morning, Monday through Friday, if someone says, hey, you got a quick second, I got a question to ask you, like someone in the office.
Yeah.
You know what? After my 11 o'clock time block is over, I'll be able to help you. But I'm doing my 20% most important stuff.
Wow.
You get text messages, you get emails, you get social media, you get all the interruptions. So how can you put away the technology for that time and focus in a disciplined manner to do the 20% activities, again, lead generation, phone calls in my situation, that will give you 80% of your commission checks, for instance, as a realtor?
Wow. I mean, and you know what's funny, though? I was actually talking about you a few days ago, and someone actually mentioned that about you, that you are serious about your schedule. You are serious, and that's one of the things that I struggle with horribly. You know, my schedule is all over the place. I hate the hallway of our office. I hate it because anytime I go and grab a cup of coffee, I go drink water. I'm a creature of social conversation, right? So I love conversing with people. I hate making phone calls, but I love talking with people, right? So when I'm doing cold calls and I'm dialing and I'm trying to get new clients, it's a struggle for me, right? But when I go into the coffee room and in the break room, I just see that I'm constantly talking with other people, right? And if I have a schedule, that won't allow me to do that, right? If I'm serious about my time blocking and I say, hey, look, from 1 to 2, I am at a meeting. I am going to be in a meeting, right? If I'm in if I take my schedule seriously, right, and I have, let's say, a meeting with John or Jason. Let's say I have a meeting with Jason. I'm not gonna stop our conversation to go to the hallway, grab a cup of coffee, and have another conversation with someone else.
Exactly.
That would be completely rude and completely breaking my time block, right? So I think whenever we have a schedule and we actually implement it from 11 to 12, this is what I'm going to be doing. You take that very seriously. Right?
Big time. I mean, what I'm hearing you say is that you need more of a bunker. You need because your office, where we do this 20% activities that give us most 80% of our results.
Yeah.
So you want to have candy, or you want to have protein, or whatever it might be, whatever healthy snacks and water there at your desk, so you don't have the excuse, of getting up and then becoming distracted.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, what's some of the things that you're doing to keep this kind of time blocking system?
It's we're driven by either pleasure or pain, right?
Absolutely.
To me, it's the pain of being out of business if I don't continue to hold my time block.
Wow.
Because that's where I get my business from.
Absolutely.
I don't get a steady paycheck. So the only thing that's going to give me the paycheck is to do my one thing I've been doing for 19 years, which is getting in there at 8 o'clock in the morning and doing it for a certain time, trying to get a certain amount of contacts. And then they say that just protect your morning at all costs. And then the rest of the afternoon will be a result of those focused efforts you did on your 20% in the morning.
Yeah.
The afternoon always takes care of itself. You don't have to do this time blocking for lead generation all day long. It's just the morning. Protect that morning.
Let me ask you this. Are you time blocking everything? I mean, are you time blocking in the sense of, okay, look, this is my lunch break. This is the time that I'm gonna lead generate. This is the time that I'm gonna call past clients. I mean, are you making it more general?
I time block in the morning. So basically, I'm out of bed at 5 a.m. Doing a little bit of exercise, some transcendental meditation in the morning for 20 minutes. Breakfast, role play with somebody else, one person pretending they're a realtor, one person pretending they're not, and getting to the office at a certain time, same time every day, Monday through Friday, and then finishing at around 11 o'clock, and then the rest of the day is never the same day in the afternoon after 11.
Okay. So you're very strict with the first part of your morning, and then a little bit more liberal towards the afternoon. Is that what I'm hearing?
I have no control over the afternoon because that's going to be predicated on what I did in the morning. My appointments, my business appointments that afternoon will always be a result of my efforts in the morning.
That is amazing. I'm mind blown. I've never thought about it that way. I've always been very I have to time block, and I have to time block from all the way from the time that I'm waking up to the time that I'm going to eat my cereal, to the time that I'm going to take the kids to daycare, to the time that I'm allotting for traffic, to the times that, all the way to I get to the office. From the office, I got to make phone calls, and then allotting time to check my emails, allotting time to refer, all the way until 9 o'clock at night where I'm trying to go to bed. And I see that that's so exhausting, but you're presenting a whole new thing. You're presenting a whole.
I've learned it from others, Gus. I've learned it from others. But because it's hard. We don't have the energy. We get tired and fatigued if we time block for such a discipline for 8 hours. That's pretty impossible to do.
Well, I'm setting myself up for failure every single day. What I'm noticing by that, because if let's say I say that I'm gonna wake up at 5 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, some people are laughing already. Let's say I say I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning, and then I say I'm going to show up to the office at 8 o'clock, and I show up to the office at 9 o'clock. I've already failed my schedule.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's tough.
Because then you're starting off, and you're totally blocking your momentum, and it's going to be hard to regroup after failing on step one.
Yeah.
To get there, step one, and then you kind of set yourself up for success the rest of the day.
That's so interesting. This was already worth my podcast. Bye, guys. Thank you. This was amazing. I already got something out of it. No, I've never put it into thought. It's like, hey, just set the time block for the first period of the day, and then let everything else roll around for the second period.
Absolutely.
That's
the second afternoon will take care of itself.
I'm mind blown about that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm reading. It's like, no, you got a time block for everything, and it's like, I look at that, going back to the gym, right? Thinking about working out and everything like that. We're in the new year, right? We just started off the new year. By the way, it's already February.
I know, man, it's going fast.
But anyway, start the squirrel moment. I'm sorry. So we look at that, and and you go into the gym, and then I have this workout partner, and he always likes to lay out exactly what we do. And when we go to the gym, this is exactly what we're gonna hit: the bicep, the tricep, all the steps. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm already demotivated by this time. But your proposition is something totally different, which I love. It's like, look, we're gonna hit, we're gonna go to the gym. We're just gonna focus on an hour of ab workouts, and then we're gonna let the body cool off afterwards, second period. And I think that's that's on point.
So I am no personal trainer, so I can't speak to that. I'm just talking from a sales standpoint.
Yeah.
To me, it makes sense that you would time block when you work out. That's actually probably the first thing you should time block.
Yeah.
Because the healthier you are, the more energy you will have for your 20% sales activities, which is lead generation. No, it comes down to energy management at the end of the day. We're like sales athletes in any business. If we want to go out there and get the business, we have to have energy to do that.
Absolutely. Now, talk to me about, before we go to the next tip, talk to me about the 4 conversations. What do you mean by that? I know we were talking about, writing down the 4 conversations. Let's just, for the people who's listening here, what can they get out of that?
Okay, so basically the 4 conversations in our business is appointments set is the first conversation. How many appointments did you make this week?
Okay.
Number 2 is how many signed contracts did you get?
Okay. Sounds good.
Number 3 would be the revenue that you the number of deals that you close. I think I'm missing one. One is number of contacts. I'd have to get back to you on that, to be quite honest.
All right, good deal. Now and again, that's very pinpointing exactly what your is that. Would you consider that your 20%?
Sorry, it's right behind you. I'm looking here. I'm having a mental blank because I'm on air here. Okay, so first one is listing appointments. Is the first conversation as a realtor. So how many
GCI?
On the left, it says listing appointments. Okay, if you want to show that to your folks.
Go for it. Gotcha.
So here, first conversation is listing appointments. How many appointments? We're in the appointment setting business. In our business, and I imagine in any other business, if you're a financial planner, if you're an attorney, whoever has the most appointments that week is going to get the most business.
Absolutely.
Period. Doesn't matter how good a closer you are, right?
Yeah.
It's about appointments. If I have a 25% closing ratio on those appointments, or if I have an 85%, whoever has the most appointments, it doesn't matter if your closing ratio is lower. So in our business, appointment set. Next is listings taken.
So how does that translate for someone who's just an entrepreneur?
So if I'm selling toner cartridges like I used to with a company here in Miami, the goal is how many appointments did I go on that week? So how many did I visit any hospitals? Did I visit any colleges? Did I visit accounting firms, law firms to sell these toner cartridges?
Okay.
It came down to appointments, and then based on that, you get a certain percentage. Say 25% of those appointments will do business with you, listings taken, or they will sign up with you as an attorney or as a financial planner, insurance sales, all of these things. Then that ultimately getting that signed paperwork leads to closings and commission down the road. But step 1 leads to step 2, leads to step 3, leads to step 4.
What's step 3 again?
Whether I'm a plumber, step 3 is the closings. That's that agricultural, trusting the process that if I go on these appointments, no matter how good or bad I am as a salesperson, eventually I'm going to get business, even if I were to throw up on somebody. I like your style. You know what? I like this kid. He's different, Yeah. But somebody is going to resonate with somebody.
Yeah.
But so more appointments means you're going to get more people that just like your style and you connect with them.
Absolutely.
Which means more closings down the road, which of course in our business is commission. But I'm a plumber, same thing. If I'm an attorney, same thing. If I'm a certified financial planner, same thing. People have to come in or I have to go to them and I have to get them to sign up with me. Same thing.
Absolutely.
If I'm a Zephyr Hills water salesman, as I was before, same thing. If I'm an office supply salesman, same thing. Selling, this is the formula.
How often are you looking at something like this chart here, the 411?
Once a week on Friday, we kind of, as a group, our team revisits. Okay, so how did we do in the 4 conversations? How many appointments did we get? How many listings did we take? And that really is what we measure.
Awesome. So you have actually a system in place to determine if you're successful for that month, that week, that day?
Absolutely. Yes, because we can compare how many appointments we went on in January just passed to January of last year. And if we know that we've got more appointments, it signals a good trend for us 90 days from now when the commissions are going to start rolling in. If we've got less appointments, it means that we're not doing as well as we did last year. Even if we got if we have closings coming in, that's not a result of this week's efforts. It's a result of 3 months ago's efforts.
So that's going to lead to hit number 3. Hit number 3 says trust the system. Let me ask you this. Trust the system. Is this one of your systems?
That for sure is a system, yes.
That is for sure of your system.
Yep.
So this is something that they might be able to implement. So regardless, right, are they having a system in place where they should be looking back to?
Yeah, I mean, appointments. Like there's a guy I know, his name is Roy. He sells insurance. His goal for appointments every week is 15 appointments. Ours is like 3 to 5 appointments, 3 to 5 sellers or buyers visited. In his insurance world, it's 15. So that's 3 a day, Monday through Friday.
Wow.
And he's always asking for referrals. So where I think we can do better as agents are doing what these insurance people are doing. They're always saying, who else do you know who I could talk to that might have a need for this health insurance?
Wow. Okay.
Right?
Let me ask you this. How important is business to business, belly to belly networking for you?
For me, it's not a big part of my business. I know that for mortgage brokers, for instance, they do very well because they're going after agents and other mortgage brokerages, getting those relationships and channel accounts that just send them tons of business each person. So you are a channel account for some real estate firm, for a title company, or for a mortgage brokerage, as am I. So that's a business-to-business transaction. Could we do better as realtors? I'm sure we could. We could go to human resources companies. I know some people do that. So they'll go to, like, say, Sony and Coral Gables or whoever, and they'll become good relations with the human resources department and help them with housing for new employees who are coming in. That's the idea.
And you know what's funny? I get a lot of business from business to business, belly to belly, with different business owners. So I have, in my business alone, I have a time where I'm allocating more time to connect with different business owners.
Smart. That's leverage.
Than I am with for sale by owners or expireds or people who canceled.
What works for you, if you don't mind me asking? In that
absolutely.
realm?
Yeah. So what I see that is very, very lucrative for me is connecting with different business owners. I was a part of a networking group, which I won't name them because they're not sponsoring this event. No, I'm kidding. BNI was part of BNI, and they taught me something was connect with different business owners. And, just something like this, right? So someone's going to watch this podcast, and they might not be in real estate. That's the people who I want to connect with. I want to connect with a different, maybe an attorney. Why? Not because that the attorney is going to sell their property, but because the attorney, I'm going to want to connect with them. They're going to see, wow, this guy has an interesting podcast. He has an interesting show. He's always delivering good content. I trust him. I feel like he can service my clients. And then I'll give you a great example. I was at Starbucks just about a week and a half ago, and I saw this young lady. She was meeting her clients at Starbucks, and she had a big portfolio of beautiful pictures. And immediately I thought she had something to do with photography. She had a big old camera on top of the on top of the table at Starbucks, and she had this big, beautiful portfolio that she was just pointing out. And she had two clients, a young client. So I immediately knew that there was something, wedding related. So after her clients left and she was kind of like packing everything up, I went to her and I said, hey, I'm so sorry for interrupting. I noticed that you had two young clients. I'm going to venture to guess that you are a wedding photographer or wedding planner. And she's like, well, I'm a wedding photographer. And I said, wow, that's so awesome. Can I have your business card? And she gave me her business card, and I started to tell her, I'm meeting with a lot of people who are first-time home buyers, and a lot of my clients, they are looking into buying homes. So I want to keep your business card, so that way, if I ever have a business that I want to share with you, I want to send it your way, and because I don't have someone in my Rolodex, right? So what I'm constantly telling my clients is that the reason why you should hire me to sell your house is because I am a book of Rolodex. And I want to connect people who can, buy or sell your house. And I'm going to connect you with those people. So, long story short, she mentioned immediately, she's like, well, I'm actually looking into selling my house.
Wow.
And buying my house. Well, that wasn't really the reason why I was targeting her. I was targeting her because she's a businesswoman and she has clients. And the reason I want to be able to share contacts with her. So that's kind of my process, and it works phenomenal. And I prefer that a lot better than, sitting on the phone and calling, people who are most likely going to hang up on me. I still do that. I still put that on my schedule, but I avoid those like the plague.
That's interesting because we have different approaches, and it works for you.
And
what works for you doesn't work for me.
But you're a rock star, so I got to do more.
No, but seriously, like there's our broker. She doesn't necessarily do cold calling, but she's so good, like you are.
Yeah.
Going up to a stranger she's never met before. Yeah. And business comes out of it. To me, like the whole time management piece is, I'm going to be doing this from 8 to 11, lead generating, and then I'm not lead generating after that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like It's just different
so
style.
Interesting. It's so interesting how we have different styles. But absolutely, you have to take whatever you're good at, and amplify
do it more.
that.
Yes,
and amplify that. Right.
Good word.
But absolutely, and you have to trust your system. Trust the system that you've put in place to take that to the next level. What would you say, Jason, to someone who is a business owner and does not have a system?
They probably have a system. The question is that system working for them or not?
Okay.
We're creatures of habit, so they have a system already, whatever it is. It might be working or not.
Okay.
But to kind of figure out, leverage whatever your personality style is and what you could do, even if you weren't being paid for it, type of thing, and just do it more often. So for you, it's maybe measure, okay, I'm going to talk to 20 strangers in person per day at different Starbucks. That could be your thing that you're measuring instead of doing the cold calling, which is what I'm doing.
Okay.
So just start measuring it and making sure that you hold yourself accountable. This is what I'm really good at. Me, Gus Diaz, I need to make sure I'm speaking to 5 or 10 of these people per day that I've never met face to face.
Okay.
So that's a system. But to someone else who doesn't have a system, figure out, again, what they did last year. Where did their deals come from last year? Really break it down. And whatever the number 1 or 2 source was, amplify those 1 or 2 sources. Put some money behind marketing and to get to those 1 or 2 sources.
Absolutely. Does your team, do you guys spend any money on social media advertisement, anything like that?
Starting to. We're starting to get some ads, yes. We're starting to get some results from that.
Okay.
Yep.
So if I'm a business owner, should I at least venture into that area and into that arena?
Have we had great results, great returns on it? Yet, no. So I'm not the person to talk to about that. Other agents swear by it, and they do great. So I really wouldn't. If they enjoy it, I would say yes.
Okay.
If they enjoy creating the content like what you're doing here, this is going to bring you business just because you're bringing value to others.
Absolutely.
And it's a great platform for you and your personality. Wouldn't be for other people, right?
And I think you just hit it real good in the sense of bringing value, right? I can put a whole bunch of content on social media advertisements, but if I don't give them value, why should they even click on that link?
Yeah, it's
so
just noise otherwise.
So if you are going to venture into the social media advertisement, paid advertisement, click per ad and all that, make sure you're coming from contribution. Make sure that you're giving them value and you're just not a generic, hey, use me, XYZ plumber. You have to come from contribution. Say, hey, look, the top 5 reasons of why you should, clean your plumbing system every once, 5 months or whatever it is. I have no idea about plumbing. But, if you're coming in from value, and then you can add maybe a button in there that says, hey, click here to get more information on how we can do this for you, whatever it is, right? And then let's say they go through our social media advertisement, or they go through our regular pipeline, and they're going to go into a thing called database, right? Database, and which brings into hit number 4. Trust your database. So going back to that guy who created a social media advertisement, and the person clicked on it, they got a lead from him. Now what, Jason? What do you do with that lead?
Well, you've got to put that lead into some type of follow-up system. You've got to put that lead into your database. There's all kinds of software programs for different industries out there.
Is there a simple software program that I can use just to manage my database?
There's so many different ways in different industries. I couldn't speak to different industries. Like with us, we have Keller Williams Command, for instance. That's our database, and that's how we can follow up with people.
Where do you store all your database?
Keller Williams Command, or on a spreadsheet.
On a spreadsheet?
It could be a simple spreadsheet, yeah.
Okay. Now, what would you say about your cell phone?
Cell phone, that's a great point. Some of us think we don't have a database, but we all have a database. The phone numbers that are in here are people that know us, like us, and trust us in many situations. Money situations. And yes, this is our database. The question is, are we systematically, purposefully talking to them to come from contribution in our time block on a daily basis? And are we organized in doing that? I've got 3,000 names and numbers in here. the way they break it down, 3,000. I should be getting as a real estate agent.
That's a very expensive phone.
Okay,
that
right?
is a very expensive phone.
The formula. Can I show you the formula?
Yeah, go for it.
3,000 names times 0.06 of the population moves every year. So that's 180 people moving in those 3,000 people right there. And not everyone's going to do business with us, even if they are on our phone. So let's say half of them do, divided by 2. So that should be 90 real estate transactions that I'm getting per year by calling the 3,000 people regularly.
And let's say you're an attorney, right? Or let's say you're a plumber. Going back to, I love using the attorney plumber because they're so broad spectrum, but really at the end of the day, they're business owners, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned those. I mean, your database has 3,000 contacts, right? You got to create a system where you're connecting with those people. I mean, if you're an attorney, how many people go through divorce? 50% of the population are going through a divorce. They're going to need an attorney. How many people own houses that they need to fix their plumbing?
Good point.
A lot of people need those. And it's all about reaching out to your database. A lot of people will say, well, I'm fresh in the business. I got 1 year in the business, and I don't know anybody who would do business with me. But yet they have a crazy amount of people on social media. They have a crazy amount of people on their phone. All they got to do is just pick it up, right?
What do they say, though? That's the question. What do you say now you got somebody on your database? What do you say to them?
When you get them on the phone? Hey, how you doing?
That's one thing.
How are you?
There is a simple script for anyone in any industry to use, and then the one is it's Ford. Family. How's the family? Occupation. How's work?
Yeah.
Recreation. When was your last trip, or when's your upcoming trip? What are you doing for fun? Dreams. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What's the next step for you?
Now, let me ask you this question. Do you separate a business call from a personal call?
If it's during my time block, there's no personal calls going on. Like from 8 to 11, it's only business calls. But it's connecting.
But when you're reaching out to your database, right? When you're reaching out to your database and you time block to reach your database, are you saying, hey, this is not a personal phone call. This is, I'm reaching, are you going through the Ford?
Going through the Ford, because it's funny, like when you're listening to what they say in the Ford, okay, how's the family? Oh, my child just went to college. We're looking to downsize.
Okay.
That's a possible piece of business right there.
Okay.
You can get together, it's an opportunity to get together for lunch or grab a coffee based on this conversation. But there are opportunities to help them organically based on the answers to these questions. And in the same time, you're reconnecting. And don't forget, it's not just you getting business from the person you're calling. Yeah. You're doing, we can give business to these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
A child psychologist, if he's looking for clients, attorney, plumber, financial advisor. It's not just, as they say in BNI, givers gain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Contribution, you said it yourself. It's not about take. We have to come from that contribution. If you can have the mindset, if we can have the mindset of giving more business than we receive, we'll be fine because we'll ultimately get business too.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think you're just hitting it in the head. And I love that you brought out the phone. And I have a mentality here. If you don't use your cell phone as your database, then it's not a smartphone. It's a dumb phone. I'm just saying.
That's good.
It's not a smartphone. You're not using the capability that you have, that this thing has, to make you money. I mean, look, this phone right here, I got the iPhone 11 Max Pro. They keep getting more names for these things. iPro 11 Max Pro. I paid, I think, like $1,200 for this. If I put numbers in here, but I never call the people and reach out for business, this phone did nothing for me.
Good point.
This phone didn't, and make it a challenging goal. Hey, look, I just want to get enough business to pay this phone off.
Gotcha. The challenge, though, is that you're going to have pop-ups, you're going to have news events, you're going to get texts, you're going to get all kind of stuff coming.
What do you do about that when you're lead generating and you time block and you got a a news notification, or
first of all, you turn off the news notifications, right? Because that's the 80% stuff.
All right,
you want
good
the
deal.
20% stuff. Yes, notifications will kill us because those little things will get in the way.
Email too? Are you blocking that out?
Yeah. Anyone
responding to emails?
Wait a little bit. Wait till after 11 or whatever your time block is to do emails.
Wow, yeah. Man, that's insane.
And one other thing, Gus, like when we're talking, so the question is, okay, so you got 2,000, 1,000 people here. How do you systematically go about it? The way to do it is everyone whose last name begins with A or B, you call them in the week number 1. The following week, call the C's and D's. The week after that, all the E's and F's.
Wow.
So you'll go through the entire alphabet in a year because there's 52 weeks and there's 26 letters in the alphabet.
Wow.
So that'll take you through the whole year, and it's a system, another system like the 4 conversations.
And this, you're actively doing this?
No.
Okay.
That's what I want to aspire to, but that's what you can aspire to, and that's how systematic and organized it can be.
Man, I would find that so, saying it and doing it are two different things. I would find that so daunting. It's like, gee, hey, grandma, and just reconnecting with them. But you're actually building it and pouring into their life as well. It's like, hey, Chris, I haven't spoken with you in a few months. How are you doing? And you're going to find out, you're going to make a lot more friends. You're going to be a lot more sociable.
Heck yeah.
That's man, so amazing, so amazing.
It's hard to go through a lot. I mean, you might not get through as many calls as you would if you're cold calling, and they're going to be richer, deeper conversations.
Absolutely.
Which is going to serve you in business anyway.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a longer time when you're having these conversations.
That's insane. That's awesome. Hey, Jason, man, we are on that mark of the hour. Awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
So we're at halftime. So 1 hour to go. Just kidding.
There you go.
Thanks for having me.
Man, hey, what do you wanna leave the viewers with? What do you wanna, the last words, last encouraging words? What do you feel like they haven't gotten yet that they need to get before they leave? If they only get one thing, this is the one hit they need to listen to.
I'll leave it with some books to read that hopefully will serve anyone in any career.
Okay.
The One Thing is a great book. It talks about that 80-20 rule. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easy or unnecessary? It's a great book. It's a bestseller. You'll see it in all the airport bookshops. The One Thing. Another one is Atomic Habits, the one that I'm reading right now. Those are really good books. Just get in the habit of doing that one thing that you will get you the most business.
Okay, so focus on the 20%, get some good books, as Jason described. Again, give them your email if they want to find you.
Email is jason@jasonsmithshowcase.com. The website is showcasemiami.com, one word. Or you can follow us on Instagram, which is @Showcase Miami, one word, @Showcase Miami.
Awesome. And you have
my number is 786-326-8115 is my cell phone.
And we're going to go ahead and put all that in description if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Absolutely. Good deal. You're also I hear you speaking with a lot of new agents, experienced agent. If I want to go into real estate, should I call you?
Yeah, for sure. Please do. We got a team, and we're always looking to grow, and we're looking to expand into different areas of Dade County and Broward. So definitely looking for young, older, medium range, whatever it might be. People who really are hungry and they want to do well in sales.
Okay.
We definitely want to talk to people.
Awesome. So if you want to join a very, very successful team, you guys gotta go with my brother here, Jason Smith Showcase.
Thank you,
Miami.
Likewise to you. What you're doing is pretty amazing. So
awesome.
Really, a lot of respect to you, what you're doing and what you've created here.
Awesome.
Super smart. Leveraging your personality, today's technology.
Awesome.
It's been a great time being a guest here.
Well, thank you so much again to our viewers. Like, share, and subscribe. Another amazing podcast with our special guest, Jason Smith. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Gus. Thank you all.
Awesome.